Today, the journaling problem is fixed. I am going to share the same exact way that so many other traders journal as well. This is a process that works for almost everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about something very important, and I believe that this is more important than anything that you're going to learn with day trading, because this is single-handedly going to make you profitable, and I'll explain why in this whole video. Journaling is the most important thing to go back in time and actually check what you're doing right, what you're not doing right, what you have to cut off, and how you can advance in trading to build your process for something that works for you. So I want to share all the methods that I have used in day trading for the past 8 years, and let me tell you, I've used almost all of them, like 4 different ways. But by the end of this video, I want to share how professionals journal, how you should actually keep everything so you don't have to keep all of this noise. The problem with this was I started writing down everything, and I mean every single letter was written in this journal. For this, I also had pages and pages and pages printed out of this. And not only that, I also went to the extent of creating my own binders, which these did help a lot. And this is actually what made me make my first 100,000. It was screenshotting every single one of the trades and writing notes for each one of them. The reason why this helped me was because in the beginning I could see that visual, but after I had almost 500 pages worth of trades, I could not go back. I physically could not go back and read through every single one of them. So if I had a certain ticker that I wanted to go back to, I was so confused because I'm like, where is it? I can't find it. So once this came out of the picture, and this, in the past 4 years, I have been journaling completely different. I have a Discord channel, and I also have a Google Sheets, which by the end of this video, you're going to learn how to build your Google Sheets and how to build your own Discord channel that works for you. Today, the journaling problem is fixed. I am going to share the same exact way that so many other traders journal as well. This is a process that works for almost everybody. And then you also want to mix the notes of your emotional state, how you're doing, and what you're watching and what kind of confirmations you're looking for, and then you put them together, and that's how you build your process. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go through a little bit of what I was doing in the beginning. And again, I don't want to say this is not a good idea. It's a good idea for like your first 100,000 or maybe your first year when you don't have so many samples that you can still go through and look through them, because I would print them out, write the notes and write the strategy at the top, and then at the end of the week I would review it and then go through what was working and what wasn't working. It's literally thundering outside right now. Oh my gosh, perfect day to film. So now I had enough of the samples and I had made my first 100,000, so this worked, but I can't necessarily go back to each one of the tickers. Like right now, say TSMP ran, how in the world am I going to flip through every single one of these? It's just not efficient. So eventually I had to change it. Another thing that I also did was categorize them by different patterns. So I had a first green day. I also had one for breakouts and one for panic dip buys, so I could see examples of the stocks. And I also would print them out, which honestly, it also worked really well. I had OTCs and NASDAQs. Again, this worked really well for my first year or two and before I made my first 100,000. Once you have so many trades under your belt, it's like you can't really go back to them. So now I changed from this and then also mixed this up. So here, this page pretty much says symbol, size, entry, exit, profit loss, and the strategy and the notes. It's a pretty similar idea, but this is 3 trades in one. So now it makes it a little bit easier because now I have it all written down and it's all 3 trades into one. Again, same problem. Once you have so many samples, it's like this page is pretty much dead, right? After you're done with it, how are you physically going to go back through every single one of them and then just remember what ticker you traded in this day and how that ticker traded on that day? It's pretty hard. So that's gone. Next one, this was my journal where I wrote down. This was so incredibly detailed. Like, I am actually so proud of myself for doing this in the first place. And this all of this made me a better trader, so I cannot say don't do this, because all of this made me understand what I was watching and really dig deep into what a trade is, what a stock is, what kind of news it has, what kind of things I'm looking for, what kind of levels it has, where's support, where's resistance. I was so like meticulous with everything that I wrote down, and literally this whole page is one stock. Of course, that's not going to be sustainable in the long run. So once I hit my first 100,000, like, beautiful, right? Amazing. This made me a way better trader, and I am a better trader because of it. But at the end of the day, I need something sustainable that I can do for years. So I have been journaling and keeping up the spreadsheets for 4 years, and I just want to show you guys how I did it. So they live in my memory and they live in my heart, and I would recommend it if you want volume. If you want to actually see what trading is, I would recommend it for the first year, maybe your first 100,000, so you really nail everything down and you can see everything and visualize everything. Once you have more experience, now it's more of, how can I make this sustainable in the long run? How can I find my process? How can I make it more mathematical? Because at the end of the day, these were not really mathematical, and I was keeping spreadsheets, but they were not as clean as they are now. So I guess that's a very important thing of this whole topic. And then at the end of this video, I'm also going to give you a few prompts on how you can take all of the data that you have, upload it to ChatGPT and Claude, and ask it what struggles, what can I do better, and what I can cut off, so that it can analyze all of your trades for you. Because let me tell you, we live in the most interesting times. The information that we have now is like no other. We have never had Claude and ChatGPT. When I first started, I didn't have that. I didn't know what that was, right? So I had to do almost everything by hand. Now we can keep the statistics and we can keep everything written down and all of the emotions that we have, and we can put it all into ChatGPT, and it can robotically tell us what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. So take advantage of that, because the opportunity that you have to journal now is so much easier than we did 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, things have really changed. And honestly, this might be boring, and this might be one of the most boring videos where I journal. It's like, it's so much better to watch Puerto Rico and how I made my first 100,000. This is really where everything starts, where you journal, because this is the only thing that's going to take you from not knowing anything to knowing what works for you, to building your process that's going to keep you profitable in the long run. And the way that this works is, you start off, you get really good, you're an expert at something, and then you have to go back to the beginner because, say, your edge changed. So now you can see in the stats where you're going wrong, what you have to change, and what you're doing better in a certain different area. So this very important video, so please save it and do this. Let's go ahead and put this away, because now we're going to be talking about the new generation of journaling for Mari trades. All right, that's gone. Clean slate. We're going to start off with, what are 5 things that you should be putting into your journal that matter? Because at the end of the day, there's so many things that you can write down, but what actually matters? What are the 5 things that you have to put into your journal no matter what? And right now, we're not talking about the spreadsheet. All we're doing is talking about what to journal, what to write down, and what you can keep in your Discord channel. And then after I tell you what matters, I'm going to show you how I do it on the Discord. The first thing is going to be the ticker and the reason why you're watching it. For example, I have XYZ ticker. I am watching it because it is a breakout. I am watching because 860 is a key level on the chart. And you're going to go a little bit into detail on what are the things that you like. So again, journaling, you could literally, if you're brand new and if you're a beginner, just write down, I'm watching an XYZ ticker because XYZ person is watching it. So you're just going to put it on your watch list. Make it as vague as possible. But if you're intermediate to advanced, write down exactly why you're watching it. So you're going to write down XYZ, key level on the daily, key breakout forming. I am looking to get long in around the 860s. I see that the 820s have some pretty clear support. That is exactly where I'm going to keep that support. And ideally, it tests again for a potential risk. I'm going to keep it as detailed as possible. And eventually, once you start out, you're vague, but then you start making it a little bit more advanced and a little bit more, and you start adding more things to it, but you're writing down ticker and why you're watching it. There could be 1,000 million reasons why. Like, Mark Zuckerberg just invested in the small cap, so I am keeping it on watch because it brought news in and it has decent volume, and this is the key level on the daily and stuff like that, right? So everything goes into why you're watching it. And the next one is going to be, where am I looking for confirmation on this trade? So for example, the 860 example and the 820 example, if this stock holds the 820 support, that is going to be a potential trade later in that morning. So now I am writing down, where am I looking at, what kind of levels I am looking at for support on where I would enter that stock. So where do I want to see it confirm? Where do I want to see it hold? I'm also going to be adding that to XYZ reason. Now, the third thing that you have to journal is going to be another tab on your Discord. It's going to be called entry and exit. You're going to screenshot the whole chart, volume, time, and ticker, and you're going to have your entry and your exit, and you're going to put that into another Discord category called trades. You're going to put it every single day, screenshot, put it there. For number 4, journal, and this is going to be your emotional state. So for example, today's July 22nd. I woke up this morning and I woke up at 8:30. I was building a watch list. I was very prepared. So that day I'm going to write down, I am prepared. I am ready to follow all of my rules. Write down all of your rules, blah, blah, blah. Last week, I was on a trip. So I'm going to write down, I'm on a trip. I'm going to trade very slow. I'm going to take my consistent gains because I do not want to ruin my trip. And I am looking to, exit the position and then make $300, $500, $600 on this trade. But it was going to be something small, and I'm not going to add. I'm going to keep the position small. Why? Because I'm on a trip. That is going to go all into the journal. Right now, it might seem very boring and it might be like, why do I have to journal that? Later on, we're going to tie it all together. And the next one is going to be the discipline one. That's also going to go into the journal. After you're done with your morning trading or whatever it is that you traded, like your swing trade or your afternoon trade, you're going to go back and you're going to write down what you did right, what you didn't do right, and how well you were disciplined throughout the day. So for example, I used big size and I got carried away and I averaged down and I cut the loss, but it was a way bigger loss than it intended to be. Or you're going to write down, I followed all of my rules, everything went to plan, this is something that I have to do better. So that's going to be the discipline part. So you're going to journal how you're feeling before and how you're feeling after. So notice how all of these 5 things have nothing to do with the chart, have nothing to do with trading, and all about you. That's step number 1. Learning yourself, because that is the only way that you're going to build a process that works for you, for nobody else, because nobody else is you. Right? So the way that I trade and the way that triggers me, who I am I a fearful person? Am I a greedy person? Am I an emotional person? These all are the reasons why we make our losses so much bigger, and we might even blow up accounts, because we are our own person. I might be a fearful person. My fiance might not be. I might be a risk taker. My fiance might not be. So I can't rely on nobody else's process. I can only rely on mine, but that's only after I get to know myself and how I react to everything. So this part here, Discord channel, that is all you. That is how you are, how you traded, how you managed everything, and how you managed to be disciplined. Now for step number 2, and this is where the magic actually happens. This is where we're going to tie step 1 and step 2 together. We're going to be building the mathematical base for your trading. This is going to be the one that doesn't lie. This is going to be the one that gives you the receipts. This is going to be the one that tells you, you suck, you have to be better, you're actually not doing good, you're not profitable, you're not consistent. This is the one that's going to tell you the truth. And yes, this is the most important part, but at the end of the day, when you put these two together, they're just as important, because that's when you go from what you know, who you are, what you have to get better, and what the math says. Then you put it together and build your process. So the magic behind it is, I'm going to have a Discord channel. I'm going to write down what I'm watching, how I traded, what my emotional state was, July 22nd, July 22nd, July 22nd. Now I'm going to have a spreadsheet that says July 22nd, I made $500. I made $1,000. I lost $5,000. I'm going to take back July 22nd. I'm going to see this ticker and I'm going to go back and see what was going on in my life. What was happening to me? Why did I take that trade, right? And for example, if you have the XYZ ticker, now it is August 22nd. XYZ ticker is running again. I'm gonna write it down and I'm gonna say, what did XYZ ticker do last time I traded it? Now I'm gonna go back and say, how much did I make on XYZ? Now that goes into your watch list, and you might say something like, XYZ ticker was amazing, like it was a very consistent trade and I really like the way that it traded. So history tends to repeat, and that's very important to not solely base your trade off of it, but it gives you an idea on how the stock might trade again. If it tends to squeeze really high every single time it runs, might do it again. If it has some resistance from the previous day where you traded it, that might be an important level to watch. So you want to make it sustainable, so if a ticker runs again, you know the history and you know how you traded it and you know where you messed up so that you don't do it again. Okay, so let's go through the Discord channel together. So here I put Mari server and it is just me. So I'm going to have different categories, and I have a lot of them, right? You don't have to have so many, and I'm not going to walk you through every single one because, like, say for example, psychologist and affirmation, that's kind of very personal. But for example, we go to the trade section, and this is the one where I'm just going to screenshot and it's all going to like come together here, all of the trades that I've taken. Next, I'm going to go to the watch list and see what it is that I'm watching. Sometimes I'll have charts up like that where I like how it's forming. This is SkyQ. This SkyQ actually broke out today over this 460 line. But say for example, I like this chart and I like the way that it's behaving, I might just put it on the watch list because I like it. And sometimes I'll have some charts that really stuck out to me for that exact specific day. So I'm going to have everything, and then I am going to write down like NVV, keeping it on watch, ideally holds today for a third day surge tomorrow. So I'm writing down my strategy, what ticker it is, what it's holding, and what I want to see it do. Same thing, I'm going to write down everything that I have telling me this is going to work. That is going to be the same thing that I'm going to put down on the watch list. Having charts up, having what kind of levels are holding, what kind of thing you're looking for, and what you're risking. I like where I write down huge resistance in the 170s. If you go back to the daily chart and you write down what resistance you should be watching, now it's like you just look over and you can remember the resistance that was important. Next, I'm going to go to the journals. I'm not filling this out every day. I remember starting off filling it out every single one of the days, but now I fill it out when I know and I can feel it in my bones that I'm not feeling good, right? So I'm going to have different journals, but most of the time now I know when I wake up and I'm good and I'm not anxious, and I also know when I wake up and I'm feeling down. So for example, feeling a little down, haven't gotten anything going, and I'm in a trade that is very slow, so I'm going to write stuff down, right? And here I also wrote down like I want to wait and see what confirms. Don't rush in, there's plenty of time. So again, I'm just writing everything that I can here. So here is where like everything kind of comes into play. Let's just go to like a random day, June 2nd, and what happened in June 2nd. So I'm going to go back and put it all together. So I'm going to go here to June 2nd. It's so much easier to just go back to that date. So June 2nd, looks like HUBC was the one I decided to trade that day. Yep. So HUBC, I traded it June 2nd. So now I have what I was watching, what levels I was looking for, like the chart over 55. We'll wait for confirmation, thinking one could be a potential magnet. So now we go back to the trades. That 55 level was important. Once it confirmed, I added, and then I started selling some, but this ended up going over one. So the watch list was on point, but the thing that happens is I have it on my Google Sheets, right? And I know, okay, on this one, I made X amount. That was really good. I want to go back and review that trade. Now I'm going to go into whatever date it was and go into what I was watching it, why I was watching it. And then I'm also going to add that and put in the chart and the visual of how I traded it that day. So that's like the power of having this trifecta where you have why you were watching it, what you traded, and also how your stats is looking for the month. So if you have a disaster trade, you can go back into your journal, see how you were feeling, see where you messed up, see how you are internally, and then you're also going to match that with the trades. How was it that I took the trade? Where was it that I truly messed up? So that is how I like to keep my Discord channel. Now, a few of the ones that I was telling you guys about, categorize them by what worked, and you can go back to that visual, because at the end of the day, once you see it, the more that you see it, the more that you can go back and say, this is what I want to look for. And then you're going to be able to recognize it when you see it right in front of you. Why? Because we already had this, right? We already saw so many examples of it that it was just second nature when it came around. Breakouts, same exact thing. First green days, same exact thing. So these are my top ones that I would track. I would track the strategies and how each one of them worked so that I can get a visual for next time it happens. I'm not taken back, I'm not in shock, because I've seen them before. I'm going to have a watch list, I'm going to have the trades, and these are the most important ones. And then I'm going to talk about the Google Sheets, but this is the beginning. Having how you traded it, why you were watching it, and how you were feeling. Next, mathematical. Okay, so this is what the spreadsheet looks like, and the formulas and how you're going to get them I'll explain on the whiteboard, but here this is the exact setup, what it looks like. And I really like the way that this is structured, because the first thing I want to see in the first place is all of the trades all lined up. There's a lot of things that you could change about this, honestly, because you could even do like by month or just separate it by one little space so that you see it a lot clearer. But for me, I just like to see everything all at once, and I can just scroll by whatever month it is. The first thing I'm going to do is like, what ticker is it? Is it an XYZ ticker, whatever ticker it is? The next one is going to be NASDAQ, or is it a NASDAQ? Is it a New York Stock Exchange, or is it an OTC? So I created this one because I used to trade a lot of OTCs, but then I also did some small caps. I like to have the different types because they all move so differently. So it could even be small cap, big cap, OTCs, or penny stocks, whatever it is that you want to name it. Let's do NASDAQ. So here for type, it's either going to be a long or is it a short? So let's do a long. And the open date, I like to do this one by the date that I opened the trade, not the day that I closed it. So I opened it 7/22/2026. How many shares I used, and I'll explain this table here too in a little bit, but how many shares I used. So I used one share. The price that I got in at, $6. And this, I like to do the average price that you got in at. So for example, like if you add different shares, it's going to give you an average price on your platform. I just like to write that one down, and then it's going to calculate the position size based on the formula that I'll explain later. So next I will have that calculate the position size, and here until I get out it's going to be a negative 100% loss because I haven't filled out what price I got out at. So let's call this a loss so that you guys can see the difference on the right. So there, the whole thing is now filled out because now there's a loss and there's a gain. And I'm going to write down, let's call this a first green day. Green day, right? So here, these is honestly very easy to calculate. It's a lot easier than like actually calculating these formulas over here. So I'll leave that up to you guys. Number of trades, for example, you can just go and count how many trades you've taken and it'll calculate everything, but these you can kind of like just do it on your own. And the total profit is like the amount, all of this, and then the winning percentage you can also calculate by dividing these two. So you start to create your own kind of like chart, but at the end of the day, all you really need is like your total profit, your winning percentage, and average daily gains. But all of these stats are very important. You can just start building them up over time. This here is the most important thing that you need to have. This is the only thing that you can plug into AI that you can actually see yourself, because this is going to be a highlight kind of move. If you lost 16%, you're going to go back and you're going to see, oh, it was on XYZ, it was this day. Then you're going to go to Discord and then you're going to see how much you made, how much you lost, and how you were feeling on that day. And this is a pivot table editor. So you just go and you insert a pivot table and then you write an open date, sum of all of the profits per day, and the sum of the profit percentage. But at the end of the day, this is the most important thing that you need. The next thing on this list is the calendar. So I'm just going to write down how much I lost on that specific day, and then this is going to tell me how much I'm up on the month. So I really like to see that because you're going to be able to tell, were you profitable or were you not? And here, just goals and all of the different types that you want to add. This is the same thing as the Discord channel. You know how I have like affirmations and I have psychologists and whatever it is, the same thing happens here. You can add as many tabs as you want, but these are the top 3 that you really need. You need to be able to see every single one of the trades. Calendar, I'm going to just see, am I profitable? Am I not profitable? And here are the goals. What is going on for July? What's going on in August? What's going on in September? I want to know what my goals are so that eventually you can start building yourself up. Because if you don't tell your brain what you want to do and how your goals are and what they want to do, it's like you're not programming your mind the right way. You need to tell it, this is what I wanted to do. So now we're going to take all of our stats and everything that we have, because that is why we wrote it, and we're going to plug it into AI and we're going to see what it's going to give us. So I have a few prompts, and every 2 weeks I like to go back and see all of my stats, what's going right, what's going wrong, and what I can do better in the future. So let's go and read through them. The first one is going to be, here's my trading stats for the past 2 weeks. So you're going to go and you're going to highlight on the Google Sheets, whatever 2 weeks it was, and you're going to copy and you're going to paste it into AI. Now you're going to say, based on this data, what patterns do you notice in my winning trades versus my losing trades? Second prompt, looking at my win rate by strategy, because we are writing down on the spreadsheets every strategy, which strategy should I be sizing up on and which one should I consider cutting? Ask me clarifying questions before you answer. So basically what Claude does is, if you have it ask you clarifying questions, then it's going to maybe ask you something along the lines of, how many days did you trade the strategy? It's just going to ask you to clarify so that it can give you a better answer. The next one is going to be, I've listed my average profit percent per strategy below. Play devil's advocate. What's the most likely reason my numbers could be misleading me? If you were my trading coach and only saw this spreadsheet, what's the one habit you'd tell me to fix first? And now, number 5, based on these stats, ask me 5 questions about my trading psychology and discipline that I should answer honestly before my next trading week. So basically what's going to happen is you have everything for the 2 weeks, and this is going to be mainly your Google Sheets. And then once it asks you clarifying questions like, how did you feel when you took this trade? Were you nervous? Were you fearful? That's when it's going to come and put these 2 things together, but it's going to be a lot of mathematically based. The thing with AI is I believe it's more robotical and mathematical, but I don't believe putting emotions into AI is going to give you the definite answer, because a lot of the times it's going to tell you that you're right and that you're okay and whatever it is. So I believe going into AI with math, with solutions, with Google Sheets is going to be a lot more cleaner. And then you can go back and like whatever ChatGPT tells you or Claude tells you, then you can go back and analyze your emotions, and you can plug your emotions too. Like it's telling you, based on the stats, ask me 5 questions about my trading psychology and discipline that I should answer honestly before my next trading week. So it's giving it your emotions and your psychology, but it's also giving it a goal. I want you to take my psychology and tell me what are some things to look for before my trading week. And once you have answered all of these questions, that really concludes your 2-week journaling. And now you're on to the next week. And now every single 2 weeks, you're going to be a little bit better because you're going to take something out of it, even if it's just one thing or one rule or one thing to look for every single time. And the sooner you do this, the better habits you build, so that after year 1 and year 2 and year 3, you don't have bad habits. Like I had a lot of bad habits when I first started. I wasn't doing this. I was not doing it to the extent that I am doing it now. So I created a lot of bad habits that I didn't know were happening because I didn't catch them in time. And I kept repeating them. And then what ended up happening was I was just spinning wheels everywhere and I burnt out. And then I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to trade because I was so confused. So this is to prevent you from actually reaching that burnout and not knowing what you're doing, and then losing confidence as well with everything on top of it. You build habits, you fix them, you journal. Build habits, fix them, journal. And you repeat that and you repeat that, because that is honestly going to tell you so much. It's going to tell you everything that has to do with all math. So let me know in the comments if this was helpful, and if you want more videos like these. Everything that I know after 8 years, I'm giving you day one for free on YouTube. So use it. because I am telling you, journaling is boring, but it is the only thing that's going to take you from consistent to profitable to actually exponentially growing after you know yourself, you know your math, and you put them two together. So think about a doctor. A doctor doesn't go and do surgery and that's it, right? A doctor is all in the books. A doctor literally has to go to college for almost 8 years. They have to specialize for another 4, and they just continue studying and studying. Think about trading. You can't just show up, take a trade, and then call it a trade, right? And then just say, oh, I'm gonna fix that next day, because what's gonna happen if you tell yourself that? You're probably gonna forget it tomorrow, and you're probably just not even gonna remember it ever happened. You need to record it so that you know where it is, and if you ever have to go back to it, you have it there. So let me know what kind of videos you would want to see. I know that you guys want to see some level 2. I know you guys want to see how I create my watch list step by step. So those are some videos that I'm going to be making. So let me know in the comments, what do you want to see and what kind of step-by-step process you would want to see that's worked, because trust me, I've gone through a lot. So catch you guys in the next one.